In the depths of the internet's dark corners, stories can grow into legends, some being a harmless fiction, while others spiral into something far more disturbing. Today, we're unraveling one of the internet's most notorious creatures, Slender Man. What started as a creepy Photoshop submission evolved into a global myth and eventually a horrifying real-world crime. This is the unknown detail. The year was 2009. On a forum called Something Awful, users were challenged to manipulate everyday photos into eerie, supernatural images. Eric Knudsen, under the alias Victor Surge, submitted 2 black and white photos. In them, groups of children played blissfully unaware, while a tall, faceless figure in a dark suit loomed in the background. He called it Slender Man. But it wasn't just the visuals that made the submission viral. Knudsen added a chilling caption.
"We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and confronted us at the same time."
That poetic touch lit the spark. The photos spread across the internet like wildfire. Slenderman quickly evolved. Online users filled in the blanks, giving him new traits, behaviors, and motives. He was always unnaturally tall, with arms that could stretch and grow like tendrils. His face was featureless, a blank slate that somehow felt more terrifying than any expression. He wore a black suit, often depicted in dark forests or lurking near playgrounds. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect? Slenderman targeted children. Legends claimed he would stalk his victims for days or weeks, slowly driving them mad, causing paranoia, nightmares, and even hallucinations. Some said he could teleport, others believed he caused something called slender sickness, an illness marked by coughing fits, nosebleeds, and erratic behavior. He didn't kill outright, he infected the mind, first with fear, then obsession. Slenderman thrived in the early 2010s internet. A perfect storm of forums, creepypasta sites, YouTube horror channels, and DIY media. Most notably, a YouTube series called Marble Hornets took the myth to terrifyingly new heights. Shot in a found footage style, the series followed a man documenting strange occurrences linked to a slender-like figure called the Operator. The low-budget handheld camera feel gave it an unsettling realism. Viewers began to feel like this could be real. Fanfiction, games, and ARGs all joined in. The myth didn't just grow, it evolved. With each storyteller adding its lore, Slenderman became a collective hallucination built by the crowd. But not everyone saw Slenderman as fiction. On May 31st, 2014, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, 2 girls by the names of Morgan and Anissa lured their friend into the woods. There, they stabbed her 19 times. Why? They said they were trying to kill for the Slenderman. The girls believed that by offering a sacrifice, they could become his proxies, servants who lived in his mansion hidden in a forest. Despite her horrific injuries, the friend Peyton survived. Crawling to a path where she was discovered by a cyclist, the medical examiner would later say that if one of the stab wounds had been just a millimeter deeper, she would have died. The attack shocked the nation. Slenderman was no longer a meme or myth, he was front-page news. During the trial, shocking details emerged. One of the girls claimed she could see Slenderman. She spoke of conversing with him. Psychiatrists later diagnosed her with early-onset schizophrenia. The other believed that if they didn't kill, Slenderman would harm their families. Both were ultimately sentenced to mental health institutions, not prison. The case sparked outrage and fear among parents, teachers, and mental health professionals. Could a fictional character really inspire attempted murder? Or was it a symptom of untreated mental illness fed by the viral mythos of the internet? The Waukesha case wasn't the only real-world incident tied to the myth. In 2014, a 13-year-old girl in Ohio attacked her mother with a knife, reportedly inspired by Slender Man. That same year in Florida, a mother returned home to find her house on fire. Her 14-year-old daughter had set it ablaze and was later found carrying a Slender Man notebook filled with dark, disturbing thoughts. These events weren't widespread, but they highlighted a chilling trend. The line between fiction and reality was becoming dangerously thin for some young minds. Slender Man is a digital-aged boogeyman, born in pixels, grown by fear, but what makes him so powerful is how believable he feels. He feeds on collective imagination. When hundreds of people add to the same story, it gains weight, texture, and most of all, danger. This isn't a new phenomenon. Urban legends like Bloody Mary or the Hookman existed long before the internet, but Slender Man is different because he didn't come from decades of folklore. He came from us. And sometimes, when enough people believe in a lie, it starts to feel like the truth. Over the years, Slender Man has remained a staple of online horror, but also a symbol of caution. Documentaries like Beware the Slender Man have tried to unpack the myth and its fallout. Hollywood even attempted a horror film in 2018, though it was met with controversy and poor reviews. But beyond entertainment, Slender Man stands as a reminder of how powerful stories can be, especially for young or vulnerable minds. The real horror isn't the faceless man in the woods. It is how deeply our imaginations can influence our actions, and how the darkest corners of the web can give those thoughts a place to grow. Slender Man may not be real, but his consequences certainly were. He is the modern myth, born in jest, raised by fear, and cemented by tragedy. And that's the terrifying truth, hidden in plain sight, hidden in the unknown detail. Thank you for watching. If this story gave you chills, there's plenty more where that came from as we continue to explore the eerie, the unexplained, and the stories that hide just beneath the surface. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and join us every week for more dark mysteries, true crime, and disturbing legends. And if you heard of a myth or crime that still haunts you, leave a comment below. We're always listening. Until then, stay curious and stay in the dark.